Hello, everyone. I'm Crystal Cruz. Tonight on News West 9 at 6, we start with the Midland County Jail. We're learning through newly obtained documents it's been cited not once but twice for failing to comply with state standards for the operation of a jail. News West 9's Jason Freund has been combing through those records. Jason, what have you learned?
Well, Crystal, looking through some of those documents that were sent to us from the Texas Commission on Jail Standards, it showed that there were a number of compliance issues that the jail needed to fix in order to get back into compliance. According to documents received by News West 9, the first compliance issue was brought up in late March when the commission found that up to 15 jailers hadn't received proper training for quarterly fire drill and air packing. Air packing is a piece of equipment that helps people breathe during fires. The documents also say that in the same inspection, there were 38 instances where restraints were used with no 15-minute face-to-face checks observed or documented. Proper loggings of these observations are a requirement by Texas law, and according to a letter sent to the county by the commission in early July, a re-inspection was done by the commission, which found that the jail had corrected the compliance issues and were in proper compliance. Sheriff David Kreiner tells us that since then, Midland County's jailers have been getting thorough and extensive training to keep up with compliance.
Well, they receive training every day. We have our SRU unit that goes out there and helps in the jail floor itself. We have annual training because of what the jail commission requires, and we have jail schools that go on annually. It's a constant training process for everybody.
However, this wasn't the only time the jail had compliance issues. According to the documents, a second inspection was done in October, which found that the jail had further compliance issues. One such issue was on inmates not receiving enough recreation time. According to those documents, staff wasn't able to provide logs that said inmates had their 3 days of recreation or physical activity per week. Sheriff Kreiner says that this compliance issue was of a technical variety.
It was a technical violation. It was on paperwork regarding recreational time for the inmates. They came in, we didn't have it logged it properly. They interviewed the inmates. The inmates said, yeah, we're getting all of our rec time, but they decided to give us a technical deficiency because the paperwork was not properly secured in the facility.
But that isn't all, because the reports say that they found more violations than just the rec time. So according to the October report, the commission found that on one occasion, an inmate screening form for suicide and other developmental impairments couldn't be found. Multiple drains were missing throughout the facility, while damage to walls and a broken bunk weren't reported. Meanwhile, sanitation levels in living areas and the kitchen were below average. And speaking of the kitchen, the report also said that the kitchen staff made regular substitutions to the approved menu, which they could only do in an emergency situation. A month later, the commission sent another letter to the county, dated on November 27th. The commission told the county that Midland County had been in non-compliance twice in 18 months, which meant that the commission was going to beef up monitoring of the jail, which included 2 unannounced and comprehensive inspections. Midland County was also required to send a monthly status report to the commission. Fast forward to today, however, and Sheriff Kreiner said that the jail just got back in compliance, now they're taking measures to stay in compliance.
Well, we're already back in compliance. We had a technical deficiency for lack of paperwork on one incident, and we fixed that. They reviewed it yesterday and put us back in compliance. So everything's good to go. We're on the good slate, and it's a blessing because now we have a compliance officer that checks the jail every day. And we're back in compliance. We're out of compliance for a few days, or like a month or so, but now we're back in good grace with the commission.
So Sheriff Kreiner reiterated that the jail is back in compliance, telling us in a statement that, quote, we have been submitting the monthly reports to the jail commission as they requested and now have a full-time compliance officer on staff. We asked the jail commission to do a re-inspection, and after this inspection, the jail was back in compliance. Meanwhile, Sheriff Kreiner also pointed out that the jailers are some of the top paid in the state, getting an annual salary of around $60,000. This high salary was the reason Kreiner said jailers weren't included in the passing of Senate Bill 22, which Midland County Commissioners Court passed earlier this month. Out of the $500,000 that went towards pay raises, Kreiner told us that 0% of those funds are going towards his own personal salary. And as far as the new jail is concerned, Kreiner told us that the plans have already been presented and they are just waiting for a decision from the county on where it will be and how it will be funded.